Hi, welcome everyone. Good evening. It's so nice to be with you. My name is Lorena Carroll, and for those of you joining for the first time, I'm an Ayurveda wellness consultant and also a certified teacher of Transcendental Meditation. I've been practicing Transcendental Meditation and utilizing Ayurvedic principles for about 30 years. And I wanted to bring you into my very small kitchen, but just to show you that even in a small kitchen, you can cook a wonderful meal in 30 minutes, all fresh ingredients, and that's what I'd like to do for you this evening. I wanted to mention last week we had, discussed many things, and one thing is about nutrients, making sure that we're getting enough nutrients. And the way we prepare Ayurvedic food get the maximum nutritional value. Now, what's going to be interesting when you kind of experience this whole 30-minute, and I really will get done a lot in 30 minutes, you'll be surprised. We'll probably go a little bit over the time just because I'm going to be introducing some things before I get going. But Ayurvedic principles talked about digestion and how important it is to have a very strong digestion in order to digest the food and be able to utilize the nutrients that you gain from the food. So we're going to be going through different spices, and some of you already got some of the recipes. If you didn't get the recipes, then email me at Lorena, Laurina, at your, Ayurveda, Ayurveda, consultant.com. And I will send you the recipes, but many of you should have gotten it. I may have missed a few people, so if I did, I apologize, but I will get it to you this week. And I will also get to you the Ayurveda Wellness Questionnaire and the Vata Pitta Kapha dosha type, so you can find out what dosha type you are. But we'll be doing some general recommendations today, and then I will talk a little bit about the doshas and what's suitable. But the most important thing in Ayurveda, and I know this is going to be hard for many of you, is to try your best to cook the food fresh every day. Now, if you can't do that, I would say make an exception that you can make enough food for 2 days. But try to do that as much as you can, and every day I get out and I cook fresh, and it only takes me, sometimes it takes me maybe an hour because I make the bread and I do other things which I will explain, to you about. But generally, I don't take more than 30 minutes to an hour in the kitchen. And if you spend extra time on the weekends getting things organized and making your bread, making sure your kitchen is well stocked, that you have everything you need, then you can really get through very quickly during the week that you're just, and now this is not going to be extremely gourmet food. I wanted to do particular detox diets, but also branch off for those of you not quite ready for the detox, how you can add some other things to the diet that's not a real detox, but close to it, at least starting in the direction of healthier eating. So the first thing, so now we're on the clock. I'm going to let you put me on the clock to see if I can do this in 30 minutes. And nothing is cooked yet. So I'm going to be chopping. I have, some things semi-prepared. So it's pretending I'm going to have breakfast. Now, I had talked to some of you about the bread. If I'm going to have breakfast, I will do either a porridge, which I'm going to teach you how to cook next time. But I do this bread, and so I eat toast a lot. This is all organic. What I actually do is I freshly grind the grains: amaranth, quinoa, millet, rice, oats, buckwheat, all gluten-free. And I only put this, you can take 6 cups of flour, a little bit of rock salt. I love this Himalayan pink salt, and water, and that's it. The trick is, you see how it's not very high. If you're not going to put yeast in the bread, you have to cook it low. Cook it on 350 degrees, and let me just get this pot for you. So you can just butter just this bread pan. Nothing fancy, you don't need a bread machine or anything, and you put it in like that. So try it out. It might be a little crumbly, depends, but if you put a lot of oat groats, organic oat groats, you can get the organic flour. That usually helps to bind it together, and a little bit of ghee, clarified butter. If you're vegan, this is clarified butter. You can get it at Whole Foods. If you're vegan, you can use sunflower oil. Generally, Ayurveda promotes a lacto-vegetarian diet. Now, I'm not expecting all of you to be vegetarian, but I would say minimize your red meat to at least once a week. This is cardio month. February is, cardio month, and we know that women have the highest risk of heart disease, and we have to be careful with, doing meditation and exercise and diet. We have to do all these things to promote good health. But in Ayurveda, we do promote more lacto-vegetarian, and this is ghee, which is different than butter. You don't want to have a lot of it if you're trying to lose weight, but it's really good for the brain. It's wonderful for children. You would use this as you would use after you make your toast. You would put this on it, and then I have some nut butters. But what I want to do is this. So this is what I do in the morning. Is I start the lunch and dinner, which lunch, you just eat the leftovers for dinner, so you don't have to cook again. So I'm going to start that because while that's preparing, I will go get the toast, I will boil my milk for my tea, I will make some stewed blackberries, which I want to really talk to you about the blackberries. They're absolutely delicious. I've never had blackberries so delicious. Whole Foods has been carrying this organic blackberries. I normally don't like them, but they are super sweet and really delicious. So I think you'll love that. So let's start with our mung beans. Now, this is for your detox. So what I've done is I've taken a half a cup of mung beans, and I've put them in this jar. Now you can see over here, I'll move the camera a little bit. Actually, I better not move the camera too much. So I'll put them in a glass jar. Now, unfortunately, Whole Foods doesn't often carry these organic. They're just little split. Let me put the camera down. They're called mung beans, M-U-N-G, mung beans. Now, Whole Foods doesn't seem to carry them organic, so you may have to look online. I will eventually be carrying them so I can drop ship them to you. But these are light, and you want to get the yellow ones. The green ones are whole, and the skin is too hard, and it's not good when you're doing the detox. So when you're doing the detox, you can use red lentils, but these are preferred. But you can also use red lentils, which you'll find at Whole Foods. So I have soaked these. So now what I'm going to do is just take them over here to the sink, and I want to throw the water out. And just wash them off with it. You don't have to strain them. If you just sort of get your hand in there, and I did wash my hands well. It's always good to have very clean hands. And you'll see this like white foamy stuff, and you want to really get them clean because it's been soaking in the water. Now, why do we soak them? We soak them for better digestibility. They sprout overnight. So now I have them. So what I do is, even though I'm going to make a nice sauce, a nice spice mixture for them, I'm going to just throw them in. So I just have some, I'm going to add some more water to it. This way they can start cooking to save time while I can prepare the spice mixture and get other things cooking. Now, don't worry about how much water. You can make it more soupy. And so now I'm going to get that going, because if we're going to try to do 30 minutes, we have to get things started. So now I'm going to start my sauce. So I have another empty pot, and I like to use ghee or coconut oil or olive oil. Those are my three go-to oils. If you're doing the detox, you want to do a little bit, less of the ghee and a little bit more olive oil, especially if you're trying to lose weight. If you're going on the detox and you don't want to lose too much weight, if you're too slender, then you'll have to be careful and not use too much, you can actually use more ghee then, and you can use more coconut. Coconut and ghee is more to build up and put weight on and like that. Olive oil is more neutral. So I've got my ghee, and I'm just basically, I'll put the camera down so you can see. It's very yellow. It looks like butter, but the good thing about it is that it doesn't burn. Oh, I think I got on the computer. So it doesn't burn. All right, I think I'm okay there. So you're just melting this ghee, this clarified butter, which, like I said, this looks like this. Now, there are the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, according to the doshas. You can use that. I also found some Muchi curry is very nice, and we're going to make our own spice mixtures in one of our sessions, probably in March. But I'm just going to add what I have here. The reason why we add the spices to the oil is that when you are eating the food, it's very important that the nutrients can get to the cells. Ghee is responsible for transporting nutrients to the cells. When you add, most of this has turmeric. You've probably heard the wonderful benefits of turmeric. So I'll add some of the churna. I'll add a little bit more extra turmeric, if you like it. Sometimes I add a little extra cumin as well. Good for digestion. So I kind of just do my own thing. And you have to see, if you don't like curry, I know my mom, if she's watching, she does not like ginger too much. So we have to always make something different for her. I just add a little bit of dill weed. Dill is just so delicious. If you don't like dill, then you won't use it. Now, what you can also do is make a pesto, but with, either with or without the pine nuts. But I'm going to make a pesto for you that doesn't have nuts, so that on your detox, you can have like a basil, cilantro, parsley pesto with lemon and olive oil and salt and pepper. Very delicious, and lemon. Lemon's wonderful when you're on your detox. It'll really be your best friend. All right, so I'm just getting that heated up. Let it come to a little bit of a sizzle. And then what I will do is I am going to, my vegetable for the day is green beans. Now, how easy can this be? This is from Whole Foods. These are washed and they're already snipped. So you can see how easy, you don't even have to cut them. I'm just gonna now what I do is, so I can have a little bit of the spice mixture for the dal, is I mix this up. And actually, we're going to make our own spice mixture from the whole, like whole coriander, whole cloves, whole cumin. That is really the best way to do it. I'm giving you the very quick version, but any Indian cook, they always make their own spices and then grind them fresh. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of this into my beans, and the rest of it I'm going to use for the string beans. Now, I will eventually have a cooking class so you can taste this delicious food, but these are already washed, so I'm just going to put them in here. Now, you might be asking, and if you have any questions, if you can do a group chat. My husband is watching out because it's hard for me to see, but there's just do a group chat and he'll see that you have a question. So now I'm sauteing the green beans in the spice mixture. If you want to put some water in it, you can. The reason why we don't steam vegetables in Ayurveda is because steaming takes out all the nutrients. If you drink the water from the steaming, that's fine, but you don't want to take out all the nutrients. So here I think I have enough oil in this that sometimes I like it just to be really kind of crispy rather than so, well done but crispy. So now my mung beans are boiling. So I'm going to put them on, you know, kind of medium-low. And as soon as these start to boil or actually saute real strong, then I'll put a top on and put it on low. And then I can actually just forget about it for a while. Green beans take about 20 minutes. If you're really, you know, you can also use baby kale. Again, this is washed. You can just throw it right in the pan. So you can use your baby kale. You can use spinach, arugula. These are all pre-washed. I don't like kale generally, but what's been amazing about the baby kale is that it's so much more delicate in flavor and taste than the normal like dinosaur kale or the curly kale. I don't like those very much, but I really love the baby kale. It takes a little bit longer than spinach, but if you're in a rush, you can do spinach at you know, like at lunch. It just takes 2 minutes, very quick. And arugula. Most people wouldn't think of cooking arugula, and you may not like the flavor, but it's also very quick, cooks up in just a few minutes. So that's another option. All right, so now I need a grain. In Ayurveda, we want to have about, you know, 40 to 50% vegetables, and then we want to have some protein and a little bit of grain. But we do want to have grain because that does give us energy, especially those of you that, if you do work out or if you do have a job that requires more sort of physical activity. Now I'm going to get some fresh ginger. Ginger is excellent for the digestion. If you don't like it, well, I guess you can't have it, but if you can try to get to like it, it's very good for you. So now we have, I'll throw the ginger in, and then I'm going to make the quinoa. I decided to make red quinoa, but you can make white or black. They have different varieties. So I'm just very quickly getting in some nice ginger into the mung beans. That'll really help to move toxins out as well. That's the whole idea, is that of the detox, is that we're going to, we want the digestive system to get a break. And you can do the detox maybe once a week, or you can decide that you're going to do it a little bit longer. You know, maybe you'll do a 10-day detox, so that if you want to lose weight or you want to feel just sort of lighter in mind and body. So I'm going to take about a half a cup. A half a cup usually is enough for breakfast or for lunch and dinner for my husband and myself. So usually about 4 meals. And you don't have to really wash it too much. I just, because it's pretty clean, you just add some water. Again, very simple. If you'd like to add some cashews, you can. So I might throw a few cashews in there. And then maybe some vegetables. You can put fennel or maybe some carrots, whatever vegetables you like. So I'm going to put some vegetables in the dal, so I'm not going to put any vegetables in there. But I will put a little bit of oil. So it's either going to be olive oil, ghee. I like a lot of ghee because it's very good for the mind. It's very good for children because it actually promotes intelligence and memory and clarity of mind. And I think we all could use that, so I definitely favor that. So I'm just keep checking on my green beans that they're not burning, because I tend to burn things if I'm not paying attention. So now I have basically my lunch and dinner cooking, and then it'll be ready fairly soon. Takes maybe about, the white quinoa can take 10 to 15 minutes. That'll cook up really fast. The red quinoa, maybe about 20 minutes. The dal can take anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. So you can actually go and shower and do other things. But what I'm going to do is now prepare breakfast and also get my vegetables ready for to put in the dal so it's more flavorful. When you're on the detox, you can also eat the dal as a snack. So what would a detox look like? What in a typical day of your detox. So you wake up and you can have lemon honey water, especially if you feel like you want to lose weight. It's excellent for weight loss and moving toxins out. So you can wake up, have some lemon honey water, and then start to drink boiled water. In Ayurveda, we don't drink cold drinks, and our water should be boiled at least once. It's better to boil it for 5 to 10 minutes, but even one good boil is great. And so start to drink some hot water in the morning. And then there's also a detox tea, cumin, coriander, and fennel tea. You could add some powdered ginger. So cumin, coriander, fennel seeds. You can do equal amounts, so you could favor one, fennel over the, coriander, depending. But that is your typical detox tea that will help you to also assist in eliminating toxins. I wouldn't drink it after 6 p.m. because it actually is a diuretic. So it might, you might have to go to the bathroom too much if you do that. All right, so everything's cooking here. Now, what I'd like to show you is, before we get on to breakfast, these are the blackberries. Now, in Ayurveda, since we don't favor raw foods, especially during a detox, if this was summertime and I wasn't detoxing, I would have no problem maybe in having my cooked food and having a few of the blackberries with my lunch. But in Ayurveda, we wouldn't have a big salad. We wouldn't have a lot of raw foods because it's very gas promoting. So we always cook our vegetables and our food till it's fork tender but not overcooked and mushy. So now the quinoa is boiling, and I'm going to put it on like a medium low and let that cook. And I'm going to now cook my blackberries, and they won't take very long. Now, let's see. All right, so this is something interesting. I don't often put, ghee in the blackberries, but if you do, or let's do coconut. So I have coconut oil. Let me do one thing. So I have coconut oil, and I also have coconut manna. Now, coconut manna is too heavy for the detox. And if you're trying to lose weight and your digestion is weak, then you won't want to overdo the coconut oil or the ghee during your detox, especially in the winter. Because in the winter, the digestion can sometimes, be a little weak. But I'm just going to put a little bit of coconut oil, very little, maybe just a teaspoon. Just because, again, it's nice to have oils to help to digest the food, and I can add some spices. So I'm going to make this like a dessert. Now, in the recipes that I gave you, you do have something like a crumble, and you can actually do a crumble even on the detox. Just try minimal sugar. Remember, we talked about the coconut palm sugar. We also talked about coconut nectar, low glycemic index. Even diabetics can have that. So now I have my coconut oil with a little bit of cinnamon. Definitely, if you like ginger, put in a little ginger for digestibility. And cardamom. Some people really love cardamom. But if you like it, then it's really good for digestion. So you've got your cardamom. And then you can just throw in the blackberries. And here you might want to add a little bit of water. I have some purified water here. And you can do this with apples. We talked about stewed fruits. So you can do this with apples or pears. And you just bring it to a little bit of a boil. And then you can simmer the heat and put it on low. So I always just keep stirring things, just to make sure everything's going okay. Checking out my water content. Do I need to add water? Is something burning or sticking? So just like that. All right, so now that's kind of sizzling a little bit. I will just put that on low and let those cook up. All right, so now what we're going to do is I want to show you how to make a digestive drink, which is an excellent probiotic called lassi. Very simple. Now, it depends upon, again, your digestive level. So you can make a bunch of it and keep it in the refrigerator. I wouldn't recommend more than a half a cup. It's not something where you want to have a lot of it. So what I would do is, here's a half a cup of yogurt, and I'd probably add, because I like it more thin, I'd probably add maybe another cup of water. And that would mean I'm having 1 part yogurt, 4 parts water. This is an excellent probiotic, and it's salty, so some people really like to have that salty flavor, so you put a little salt in it. You can also make it sweet. You can add sugar and rose water and cardamom if you really want it sweet. But for the detox, you want a digestive lassi. See, these are coming out wonderful. I just put a little bit of water in just to really bring out the flavor. And yeah, they'll be really nice. And they won't take long. You'll see, I'm going to take them off in just a minute because I have to make the milk. So I'm about 10 minutes away from my 30-minute start time because we started about 10 after. But I'm very relaxed because I don't have very much to do. But I want to add some cilantro to this. Cilantro is very cooling in nature, and it's very purifying, and it tastes really good. If you don't like cilantro, you can add something else. And always organic grass-fed yogurt. So now I will just blend it up. Now I think I forgot to add the cumin, so now you can add even turmeric, although there's so much in the food, I don't think you really need it. So, all right, I'm going to add a little bit of cumin because cumin and salt are very good for the digestion. So that's why you want the cumin and the salt and the cilantro and the yogurt. It's a beautiful green color. And so what you can do is you put it in a jar. Now you want this at room temperature. So what I do is if I make it the day before, ideally you're supposed to make your own yogurt at least every night or every 2 or 3 nights. And we will do that as well. I'm trying to ease you into all of this. So you want to take it out in the morning. If you're going to eat lunch at noon, take it out in the morning. And then it'll have a couple of hours to come to room temperature. You can just put it in a little bath of hot water. It doesn't have to be hot. It just has to be room temperature. All right, so I'll just take this, and now I have some for a couple of days. So that's done. And now I'm just going to rinse this out to make the pesto. Now, basil goes bad very quickly. Some of you may have noticed, so you have to be careful. You can't keep it in the refrigerator because it'll kind of die. It's kind of like a plant. So you have to be very careful. But it tastes delicious, and you don't want the stems. The stems don't taste very good, and it'll create a very bitter taste. So you've got your basil And, you know, a typical pesto has pine nuts, but when you're on the detox, you can't do the pine nuts. But for the family members that are not doing the detox, you can use walnuts, make a walnut pesto, and all you have, and again, I don't measure, you know, I mean, you can find recipes online. I'll just get some olive oil, salt and pepper, and see, a little bit of pepper. And lemon juice, really important. And you can always add more lemon later. So if you're in a rush, what I'll do is I'll just actually blend it together, and I have lemon. I'll usually cut lemon for the week. It's wonderful to just, you know, put some lemon on your food. Not too much lemon at night. So now I think these are ready. Look how much, I've hardly put water, but the blackberries have so much water, they've created so much water. So I see they're starting to get soft. I don't want them overcooked, so I'm going to stop. Now I have a burner free. I'm going to start boiling my milk because I love to have warm milk in my tea. So now I'm going to take another pot. And I know it's going to be a messy kitchen, but it's worth it. It's, you know, you really have to make this whole thing a family affair. Everyone's got to participate, because if you don't maintain good health, you're going to have to pay later for sure. So now I'm boiling milk. We always have milk boiled, and then you can let it come to room temperature and drink it throughout the day as needed. This is very expensive, but you can get, this is Trader's Point Creamery. It's in glass, which I love, makes it taste really good. Or you can get the Supernatural at Whole Foods. You buy a big gallon of the Supernatural, it's very economical. I think it's maybe $5 a gallon, and it's very economical. This is much more expensive, although you can get a case discount. Okay, so now let's see. I might need to add a little water to this. And you can make it more liquidy. Doesn't have to be, you know, so like a typical chutney. All right, so I'll just put it in this little glass, and that you can have it also for the week. Make a little bit more of it and just put maybe a few tablespoons in the food. You can make it more liquidy so that it could really blend up more. You can add it to anything. You can add it to the beans. So now what I do is, now my beans are starting to get well done. And I don't want to overcook the vegetables, so I'll just take some celery and I just wash a little bit and throw it in. Celery is excellent, excellent for the health. So you want to have a variety of vegetables. You want to have a lot of leafy greens. Vegetables make the dal taste better, so choose vegetables that you like. So I'm going quick here, which I do in the morning anyway. I'm always rushing. And my kitchen usually looks like a cyclone hit it. So I'm used to that. But then I know I pack up my meal, and if I'm going to be out, then I have my lunch. I go out at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I know I'm going to have my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm going to just show you breakfast in a moment. So now I'm just doing a few carrots. So I'll throw the carrots in there, because the carrots and the celery really only take about 10 minutes. They don't take a lot of time. So I don't want the vegetables to overcook and be soggy. So I space it out while I'm here doing things. As you can see, now I'm checking on the quinoa. Quinoa is actually really great when it's a little crunchy. You can try to find recipes online, and you have the recipe that I gave you as well, but just see how you like it. Some people like it more well done, and other people like it crunchy. And it's okay crunchy. It'll be fine. So I'm boiling my milk. So I'm going to try to see if I can get you down there. See, I'm boiling my milk. You want it to come to a rolling boil. And now I have my milk. So here are my soaked nuts. So in the morning, breakfast will be, I will toast some of this bread, and I have, the other day, I made some nice blueberry bread. Last time I think I showed you almond bread. These are little cookies. And so how it works is, if you're on the detox, you really can't have this, but you can have the stewed fruit. But you can have some nice pumpkin seeds. I remember a couple of weeks ago, I showed you, these nice pumpkin seeds. I really like this brand, and this brand is good because it's, not a lot of salt. There's not a lot of oils. It's just very, very simple. And pumpkin seeds are good if you're trying to lose weight. So you can have maybe some pumpkin seeds, a few sesame seeds, maybe some sunflower seeds. So basically, right now, everything's done. I have my milk boiled, so it's 30 minutes. So I have everything now. Maybe things still need to cook for a few minutes more, but then you can go and get showered or do something if you have to get ready for work. So this is kind of how it works. And I will, in a moment, I'm going to serve the lunch and show you how nice it looks. But let's talk about breakfast. So you can make your porridge, maybe cream of wheat, cream of semolina, oatmeal. Those are fine. That's fine. But you still need your protein. So I would prefer that you have almond milk or cow's milk if you like cow's milk. So you can have your bread or your porridge, and then these are your nuts. Remember we talked about soaking the nuts. Almonds are very important. Walnuts, pecans, cashews. Now, if you're on the detox and you have a weak digestion, you're trying to lose weight, then you want to really minimize the nuts and only have a little bit at lunch, not at dinner. So here I have a few cashews, a few almonds. Let me see if you can see. I think you can see. So the almonds had the skin. I took the skin off. So I'm going to have a little bit of toast. I'll cut that out. Now, if you're on the detox, then I would just recommend having a little bit of the butter, the ghee. Now there's some wonderful jam that actually, so this would be toasted, and let me just show you the jam that has no sugar. This is Italian jam, no sugar, apple pectin. It's just the sweetest, most wonderful fruit. It's this one is strawberries and wild strawberries. So this can be part of your detox. Now only eat to your comfort level. I hardly eat anything in the morning because I want to be hungry by noon. So I might just have a little piece like that, a couple of almonds, and a few of the other nuts. And then I have my milk, with either green tea, or I'll have a decaf chai, some, herbal teas, and that's what you can do as well. All right, so we have breakfast. You can have your, oh, and now if you're not on the detox or you need something for the children, then you can do sunflower seed butter, tahini. So this is when you're not doing the detox, but just healthy alternatives. And you can actually make some nice sauces that go in the vegetables as well. And then we have, I like these new manna butter. Now, the only butters that are not good for you to buy are almond butter, because we don't eat the skin, and it would actually be too heavy, and too much of the skin of the almond is not good for you. But these are pretty acceptable, so just get anything but almond, and maybe you can make your own almond milk or supplement it in some other way. So if you're not on the detox, you can have with your lunch, you could have some of these very nice, this is Hail Mary, very, very nice. It's just coconut, a little bit of agave, very low sugar, very minimally processed. Now, if you really have a sweet tooth and you find that it's going to be problematic for you to cut out sugar too quickly, then go to Whole Foods and get Amy's crispy candy bars. You should trade them out for like Snickers, excuse me, or Twix, or whatever you're eating. This is a coconut macaroon, and it's called Coconut Secret. And then, of course, you have your Lara bars, and just don't have the peanut one. These are different options if you're not detoxing. These are not to have when you're on the detox. So the strict detox would just be minimally processed. The only thing that you could have on your detox would be your stewed fruits or an apple crisp with very minimal amounts of sugar. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add a little bit of this pesto to the beans. Makes it a nice green flavor. So now everything's coming together, everything's looking like it's ready. And I'm going to serve it, and so you can see what it looks like. I just want to get a nice little bowl for the berries. Okay, so I'm going to try to see if I can allow you to see how this all comes out. And like I said, during the detox, if you're hungry a couple of hours after lunch, then this would be your snack. And on the detox, I wouldn't, use cashews, too many cashews. So do we have any questions? Anybody have any questions? All right, I just want to show you what this looks like. So you're not really suffering. I mean, you can use Italian spices. You can use anything that you really, really like so that you're feeling fulfilled. Okay, so I'm hoping you can see this. So you basically have your, it's going to slide if I'm putting it down. Let me put the camera down. There we go. So you have your nice beans. I put a little bit of lemon. There's your quinoa. And then you have some vegetables and your mung beans. Very nice, very nutritious. And again, you can add different types of vegetables, add other vegetables to the dal. So a detox is mainly to have very nourishing foods. If you're trying to lose weight, you're going to favor more vegetables, less carbs, but you can still have some quinoa. If we try to reduce the carbs too much, then you'll be hungry. So carbs are filling, but quinoa, for example, is less filling than rice. And so if you're losing weight, I want to have more quinoa than rice. Rice will put on weight. So if you're doing a detox and you need to maybe put on weight or not lose weight, then you might want to do more with the with rice. But you can do rice, quinoa, amaranth, buckwheat, millet. There's many grains that you could change so you don't get bored. If you're not doing a detox, you can have other legumes that are richer and give you more substance. So you could maybe eliminate or reduce some of the red meat and just have, chicken and fish maybe for lunch, and then maybe do vegetarian at night. Maybe it's chickpeas or pinto beans, something like that. So then we have our delicious blackberries. So that's really a nice lunch. And then you have your wonderful digest. Now this is very filling. And you won't, I drink about half of this. This is way too much. So you just have to have a little bit of it, which brings up another point. When you're doing a detox or at any time, you don't want to have too much fluid because you're going to be diluting the digestive enzymes. So you saw basically, I started cooking at 10 after. I did a lot of talking, but I did have the meal finished in 30 minutes. And we were just chatting about different things. And in that time, you could go shower, get ready, and then you come down and you just put the meal together. If I was going to be going out to work, I would just pack all this up because I sometimes work away from the home. So I have to pack it up, and I would maybe put it in a thermos, or I would just put it in a glass bowl, because you don't want to keep the food cooking for more than a few hours in a hot thermos because it could go rancid, so you have to be careful. So we don't want to microwave. We don't use microwave. My microwave is right here, and we use it for storage. So you don't want to microwave food. If you want to reheat it for dinner and you're at home, that's fine. If you're traveling, you can keep it in a nice compartment where it might keep it warm for you. Or you can just add a little bit of hot water if you have nowhere to reheat your food if you are traveling. So these are just some tips. So are there any questions? I'll ask Bolton, are there any questions? If you want to chat, you can do a group chat and you can ask me any questions. Okay, all right. But if you can also email me, and if you have any questions, we can address them next week. So thank you for joining, and I will see you next Thursday. And if you have any questions, just send me an email, and I look forward to hearing from you. Until next week, bye.